Hello, space explorers. Ultra Robot has finally decided to face a great challenge. To retrieve the orb of Jupiter. Ultra Robot keeps trying to befriend Gong Gong. But the cat is very skittish and doesn't like people getting close. So Ultra Robot ate the cake from the ISS that he wanted to give to Gong Gong. Jupiter has some of the most incredible moons in the solar system, such as Europa with its subsurface sea, and Io with its fearsome volcanoes. We'll visit both in this video. In fact, Ultra Robot only wanted to go to Io to get the orb because Captain Daniel had an idea for an adventure in which the two of them could participate.
Ultra Robot, let's execute the plan we made for Io. Leave your Corvette in orbit around Io to avoid damage. I'll be there to pick you up soon.
So Ultra Robot left his Corvette far from the reach of Io's volcanoes and went to look for the orb. He soon found it and retrieved it. But Io is a place where you can't let your guard down. The lava can hit you and even rip you. Even with the shuttle already on the horizon, Ultra Robot decided to risk it and mine an artifact. Time to hitch a ride with Captain Daniel.
Come on, friend. I told you I was coming to get you. It looks like you did get the orb and something else too, right? Cool. This artifact reminds me a bit of the buildings at the ESA pilot training base. Well, there's your Corvette Ultra Robot. I think you'd better go get it. Something tells me that soon enough, you'll be piloting an eclipse. See you soon, my friend.
Then Ultra Robot came up with an interesting way to speed up the mission. Back on Earth, Ultra Robot delivered Io's orb.
Don't forget to sell the artifact.
That's right, that's important. And then he sold his artifact, which helped pay for the warp. Now it's time to go to Europa. We are approaching Europa, where we will find the orb and the alien sample in the subsurface sea. After landing, we'll dive underground and begin our search. Europa is covered in a shell of ice thicker than the Himalayas. It's so far from the sun that sunlight is basically useless for keeping things warm. It should be a solid block of ice, right? But scientists are almost certain that beneath this thick ice crust, there's a giant, salty ocean of liquid water twice as much as we have on Earth. And here's the crazy part. This ocean might be warm enough to support alien life, so where does all this heat come from? The answer isn't the sun, it's Jupiter. The secret is called tidal heating. Think of Jupiter's gravity as a cosmic hand constantly squeezing and pulling on Europa. Europa doesn't orbit in a perfect circle. As it gets closer to Jupiter, the gravity pull is super strong. As it moves away, the pull gets weaker. This constant change causes the entire moon to flex, to stretch, and squash by hundreds of meters every day. This repeated flexing creates a huge amount of friction inside the moon, especially deep down in its rocky core. Just like rubbing your hands together really fast generates heat, this internal friction generates enough heat to melt the ice and keep the ocean liquid. It's an internal furnace powered by gravity. This tidal heating is key. It doesn't just make water. It may create deep-sea vents, like underwater volcanoes, on Europa's seafloor. These vents could provide the chemical energy and nutrients needed for life to thrive, even without a single ray of sunlight. It's truly one of the most exciting places to look for life beyond Earth. And we'll see the sample of alien life that's present in Space Simulator on Roblox. But first, Ultra Robot will retrieve the orb from Europa. But before the alien life sample, let's talk a little about Jupiter Orb. As you know, Ultra Robot uses a strategy of mining without landing. and for that very reason, he decided to invest in the legendary version of the pressure shield module, buying it from Burce on Venus. With it, Ultra Robot will be able to more effectively incorporate metallic hydrogen into his grinding process, and thus advance to the next phase of his project, which he is still keeping secret. It was an investment to improve his grinding capacity and thus advance more consistently. Furthermore, collecting metallic hydrogen is good training for collecting orbs from gas giants. Each metallic hydrogen yields 14 credits. If Ultra Robot manages to collect 2 of them, plus a comet rock or sun onyx, or even a rings crystal, plus the 20% bonus for playing with friends, it could get close to 50 credits per trip to space or more. Back to Europa, if there is life in this amazing place, what could it look like? Forget little green men. First, remember, no sunlight reaches that ocean. On Earth, most life gets energy from the sun, like plants using photosynthesis. But on Europa, there's no way for plants to grow. So, the base of the food chain would be very different. Scientists think life would be powered by chemosynthesis. Instead of light, these organisms would use chemicals from the volcanic vents we talked about. They'd eat minerals and gases bubbling up from Europa's rocky core. Think of them as tiny, alien bacteria or microbes that thrive on chemical energy. What about bigger creatures? If there are these chemical eaters, then there could be things that eat them. Maybe small, shrimp-like creatures, or even jellyfish-like animals that float through the water, feeding on the microbes or scavenging for nutrients. It's unlikely we'd find giant whales or complex fish. Life on Europa would probably be simple, but incredibly tough and unique, perfectly adapted to its dark, chemical-rich world. It would be an amazing discovery. Ultra Robot left the alien sample in its place because it is unique and, once collected, does not reappear. With the Orb of Europa in hand, Ultra Robot will show us how he obtained the Orb of Jupiter. As you saw earlier, with the legendary pressure shield module, Ultra Robot was able to enter Jupiter's atmosphere without the corvette and retrieve the metallic hydrogen. But when Ultra Robot conquered Jupiter's orb, he didn't yet have the module. So the tactic used was to enter and exit the atmosphere of the gas giant until he found it. In this tactic, luck plays a big role, but there's a trick. This applies to metallic hydrogen, but it may also apply to the orb. Remember that when you return to Earth, the orb changes location. But if you locate the orb and your ship is too damaged to retrieve it, you can spawn a corvette on the moon and return. At least in the Ultra Robot adventures, when searching for a new corvette on the moon, the metallic hydrogen maintained the same location. Please let us know in the comments if the same happens with the orb. Returning to Jupiter, the fact is that Ultra Robot was very lucky. On its second attempt, he located the orb. So what he did was align the corvette's trajectory as best as possible with the orb. Then he shut off the engine and detached from the spaceship. From then on, the race against time and for survival begins. Only you can choose the best point of detachment, or whether to try another technique, such as extracting it while still attached to the ship, or even trapping the ship inside the orb. And of course, the wines will make your mission difficult one way or another. A good tip is to push your body towards the orb to keep it stuck to you. Because, as you can see, Jupiter's wines can truly ruin everything. Yes, it is possible to succeed and retrieve the orb. All space explorers have to go through this at least once in their journey. Your corvette must be badly damaged, so it's time to accelerate and focus entirely on getting out of Jupiter's atmosphere as soon as possible. Yes, Ultra Robot, you did it, and you deserve to celebrate. Back on Earth, it's time to deliver the orb. Ultra Robot wasn't programmed to focus on orbs, but he did the Jupiter and Saturn missions to help space explorers who ask for tips through their comments on the channel. With the conquest of the Saturn and Jupiter orbs, Ultra Robot will dedicate itself to his new project, which will be revealed in the near future. But wait, it seems a certain cat needs help here. How did he get stuck? Was he startled by an explosion? Does he have magnetized metal on his body? That's why he got stuck to the building. Whatever it was, Ultra Robot helped him break free. I recommend you watch our video about conquering the Orb of Saturn, as this video and it complement each other. Thank you very much for joining us on this adventure. See you, Space Explorers.